Alright guys, welcome to this new solo leveling or rise video. Today I want to give you my opinion on the 4 new sets that came out with the new Anchor and Instance dungeon. So we're gonna go over each of them. I will tell you what I think and then in which situation you could use them. I will also try to give you guys some build examples with those new sets if I find anything interesting on some hunters. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the 4 new sets are those here. There's 2 armors and 2 jewelry set. So first I want to talk about the armors, and we're going to start with Warmonger. So the 2 set effect is increase the user's attack and defense by 4%. The 4 set effect is when the user's attacks hit, their attack and defense increase by 3% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 8 times, cooldown of 0.5 seconds. So this is, in my opinion, the worst out of 4. I'm gonna get to this instantly. So the thing is, for now we don't have any hunters that stack of attack and defense. So having a boost in both is pointless. And when it comes to boosting one or the other, we don't have any hard-hitting defense stacker or defense scaler. You could argue Dongsu is one of them, but you would be better off running anything else than just a few defense stacks. And when it comes to attack scalers, first of all, there's something pretty important to know about these sets, is that you're rarely going to use the 4 set effect, because if you have access to curse, you're going to run at least 2 curse piece, and usually if you have to run only 2 curse piece, it's either going to be 2 curse piece or 8. If you run 8, obviously you don't have the space for the Warmonger, and if you run 2, the 2 usually go on the left side, because on the right side you usually want a full jewelry set. It doesn't matter if it's expert or firepower or even the new ones that are pretty cool. You're gonna want to use 2 curse on the left, and so you only have 2 spots left for the Warmonger, and the 2 set effect of Warmonger is not really that good. So that's one thing, because obviously curse is better. Having damage increase is better than having attack, because damage increase is like every damage you deal is increased, whereas attack is just part of the calculation of the damage, right? And so it makes this Warmonger set being in a weird spot where you don't really want to use it and you don't even have to use it, right? So unless you don't have access to the curse sets and you're looking for a left side armor, it can be good, but yet again, maybe I would rather run toughness or even armed than this. On a good note though, I think there's gonna be at some point a hunter that's gonna scale on both attack and defense. We already have a hunter that scales off HP and attack, and that's Beastbike. So I'm pretty certain that there's gonna be a hunter that's gonna scale off both, and you're gonna want to run Warmonger when this comes out. But for now, sadly, I don't think it's like that interesting. Unless you're starting the game, you don't have any curse sets, you have a great Warmonger set, you can put it on anything, I guess, but for now, I think Warmonger doesn't have that much of an use. Then we have Angel in White, which increase the user's HP by 8% with the 2 set effect, and increase the user's healing given by 8%, and increase the damage of the team member with the highest total power by 8% for the 4 set effect. So at first, I was underwhelmed by that one and thought it was just mid. It turns out I think it's not that bad, but yet again I think there's better options. So for example, if you compare it to the Noble Sacrifice, the 2 set effect is the same, but the 4 set changes, right? And depending on what your team building is gonna be, either one of them is gonna be better. So let's say you're running a DPS with 2 supports. I've done that for some speedruns. You're running Min and Maelin with Alicia, for example. If you were to do that, I think Angel in White is better, since you're gonna increase the highest total power. You make sure your DPS is the highest total power, right? And you're gonna increase its damage by 8%. You want to increase damage more than you want to increase attack. But for example, if you're running 1 support with 2 DPSs, well, I think this one is better, because this one boosts your whole team. So obviously you're gonna boost both DPS, assuming they're both scaling on attack. And that's pretty much what it's about. Also, Angel in White allows you to boost DPSs that don't scale off attack, where Noble Sacrifice only scales off attack. So let's say for a stage, your main DPS scales off HP, right? We don't have right now a real DPS that scales off HP, but let's say there's gonna be one at some point. Or let's say the new Gohack is gonna scale off defense and attack, and he's gonna use Warmonger. Who knows, right? Let's say someone scales off 2 stats, or even something that's not attack, or just you're running only 1 DPS, because as I said, you'd rather have 8% damage increase than 8% attack. If you're in one of those situations, this can be really good, but only in those situations. I would also add it's probably only good if you already have a blessing set in the team, because let's say you're running one support, this support is gonna want to run the blessing set, the 8-piece burning blessing set. That's where you want to go. So this is either really good for the second support. So let's say you're running Min, Maylin, Alicia. You're going to put your blessing set on Min, for example, and then you're going to put this on Maylin. You could, right? You could also put Destroyer on Maylin. You could put something else, but let's say you want to run this. And this is decent, right? Don't get me wrong. So you're going to put this on Maylin, and then it's going to be good. But I think that's the only way I would use it. So yeah, like I explained, this is the type of setup I would use this new set in. So you have one single DPS with 2 supports. One support is running full blessing and the other one would be running this new set. On the right, you would probably be running this set too, like this new set. We're gonna go over it right after. So that's the thing I would go for. Obviously, your Alicia has to have more BP than your Min and Maylin. Here, my Min has more. It's just that he's cracked. But realistically, if I was to run this team with those sets, I would lower my Min's BP by a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much how I would do it. And I think that's a really good way to use that new set. And in my opinion, the only way, or if you don't have access to Blessing, that's a cool alternative to it. Next, we get to the jewelry set. We have outstanding ability. The 2 set effect is when the user has 70% or more of their MP, their damage dealt increases by 10%. The 4 set effect is the damage dealt increase effect potency increases to 25%, and this effect now triggers when the user is at 40% or more of their maximum MP. So pretty much you're gonna run the 4 set anyways. You don't really use 2 sets when it comes to jewelry. So you're going to have 25% more damage increase whenever you're at 40% or more of your maximum MP. So I'm going to go over this really quick, I think, because there's one main use about it, and then there's a second one that's a bit more about if you're new or not. So first, if you have Curse available, this set will only be good for short-term battles. Curse is the best set for any DPS when the battle is anything longer than like 40 seconds. If you're below that 35-40 seconds mark when you're doing a stage, like for example if you're doing Battlefield of Time challenge with Hunters, this set is gonna be insane. At one point, Curse is gonna give you more damage increase, but you have to scale it over time. So this is why I say 35-40 seconds. But before you get over that mark, this one is gonna be way better. Because you're gonna run, for example, 2 Curse, 2 something, and then 4 of those. That's the set I would craft with that. And you're gonna instantly have 35% damage increase, and you will gain a 0.1% damage increase every 1 second with the 2 curse sets. And this will be better than a full curse set for the 41st seconds of the fight. Afterwards, 8-piece curse is gonna give you more, because you have 20 base and then you stack way more over time. That being said, this set for speedruns is really good, and also outside of just 8 curse being better for long-term battles, if you were to run this on long-term battles, you would just run out of MP at some point and you would just lose that buff. So this for speedruns is really good. I used it for my Battlefield of Time challenges. So as I explained earlier, this is for example the set I used for my Battlefield of Time challenges. This 4 set, the 2 curse, and then I used 2 armed. And as you can see, you get 10% instantly of damage increase, then you get 0.1% damage increase every 1 second. You also get a 5% attack, that's not terrible, but like it doesn't make much of a difference. And then you get instantly also that 25%. So instantly you get 35% damage increase, and that's pretty much what you need for speedruns, right? A lot of damage increase instantly, so you can deal as much damage as fast as possible. And so that's pretty much it for the outstanding ability set. I think I covered pretty much all the usage. I wouldn't recommend this set on Sung Jinwoo though, just making sure this is clear. I don't think it's a good Sung Jinwoo set. I think it's great for Hunters, but not that much for Sung Jinwoo. Unless, like I said, if you're doing speedruns, but you consume a lot of mana with Sung Jinwoo, so I don't think it's any good even for speedruns. And so we get to Sylph's Blessing, 2 set effect. When the user uses their QT skill, support skill, or ultimate skill, it increases the user and their team's elemental weakness damage by 5% for 30 seconds. The 4 set effect increases the skill's duration to 60 seconds and increase the elemental weakness damage increase effect stack maximum to 3 instances. So pretty much, like I said again, you're gonna run 4 set, you're not gonna run 2. So 4 set for 60 seconds, every time you use a QT, a support skill, or an ultimate, you get 5% elemental weakness damage increase. So this set, in my opinion, is like the second one we saw. If you're running 2 supports and you already have one that is running Burning Blessing, on the second support you can run this and it will be really good. But otherwise, I don't think it's that insane. Because first of all, it's for the elemental weakness damage, so you have to be on the elemental advantage. So for example, if your main carry is Alicia for everything and you're not against a water weak boss, then this has no use for you. For example, it can be really good if your main DPS is Suhyun, since her second skill always hits as if it was elemental weakness. But there's one use for this set that I really like, is for Power of Destruction, because for Power of Destruction most jewelry sets don't work and most support sets don't work. Because if you know what I'm talking about, Power of Destruction doesn't have any tag out and anything like that, so blessing doesn't work, and this is a main problem with Power of Destruction. The Burning Blessing set doesn't work, but this would work since it procs also when ultimate skills are used. Also, this can be a really good set if you're running a lot of supports when you're running Song Jinwoo. For example, when I run Song Jinwoo, I like to have only supports as my support hunters, right? I don't really care about if they're doing damage or not. I usually run Min, Maylin, and then Beast Baek, for example. So this can be really good to put on either one of them, since you're gonna have one running the Burning Blessing, then you can have one running this, and it's really good. I think this one has like the more use right now out of the whole bunch. As you can see, my Maylin has one fully upgraded and equipped. And so like I said, for example, this is the set I run when I'm doing Power of Destruction. So I'm running this for her whenever I'm running Alicia, obviously. So like I said, for example, for Power of Destruction Water, which is today, I will be running this on Maylin and also one hit kill. One hit kill is just so she can ult as much as she can. So like she can stack this set faster, right? With one hit kill and the fact that she charges her power gauge so fast, she gets her ult like every 30 seconds. So I usually have 2 stacks of Sylphs up at any time, and then Alicia will benefit from it, obviously. So that's the thing behind it. For example, if you're on Fire Power Destruction, you might want to slap this on the support that's on your Fire team, or even change Maylin's team. You could put her on the Fire team just for this day, so she can have that full set and boost Suhyun more. Or let's say you're on the Wind day and you put this on the support that's on your Wind team. So yeah, I think that's a really good Power Destruction set, and then outside of that, it's just a good second support set in general. If I'm running Song Jinwoo, like I said, I'm gonna have one support with full blessing, and then the second one can have Sylphs, and it's gonna be really good. I like Sohyun's support skill because she gives like attack. So that's usually a setup I could run. Maybe I would have something different on Maylin's left side, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got pretty much what I meant, and it will help you guys build better teams and like understand how sets can work together. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next one. See ya.